Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. We're talking about delegating. This is part of a mini series where we're diving in to how small business owners can be more effective by learning all about delegating and becoming an expert at it. Today, we're going to focus on signs that it's time to start thinking about delegating. Now, if you're a small business owner and you're just getting started, oftentimes you're doing things on a shoestring budget. There's not a ton of money. You've got so many hours in the day and you've got a ton of stuff you're trying to get done. And the biggest problem is probably just making people aware of your business. If you don't have a big budget, oftentimes you're not quite ready to start delegating in force, but there are ways that you can start to offload things. And so if you're struggling to have enough time to get everything done that needs to get done, I would recommend you go back and watch the time management mini-series. In there, we talk about the idea of doing a time audit. And in order to delegate, you have to know what it is you're going to be able to delegate. So if you've maxed out your time and you don't have any more ability to cut things out because maybe you've already done a time audit and you've cut out all the wasted time, it's probably time to start delegating. Now, some other signs that it's time to delegate is if you have income coming in and maybe you're close to that point where you've got more money than the business requires, you've got enough that you're taking care of yourself and maybe a little bit extra, that's another good indicator it's time to start delegating. And one of the big misconceptions people have when they start thinking they're in that position is if I delegate, I've got to hire a whole new full-time employee. It's going to cost this much money. I only have a little bit of money. How am I going to make that happen? And we're going to go into more depth on how to go into all the nuts and bolts of delegating in another episode. But I want you to put that fear to rest because you don't have to hire a full-time employee right out of the gate. But what you can do is you can go out and hire part-timers. You can do virtual assistants. Another great opportunity is just delegating some stuff to AI. We've got all these AI tools coming out that can help you delegate. So again, coming back to some of the symptoms, it's time to delegate. You've got a little bit of extra money coming in. You've got a lot of work happening. You've already gone through a time audit and identified where you were wasting your time and you cut those pieces out so you're being highly efficient with the time you do have. Those are all good symptoms. I was talking to a business owner just the other day, and this business owner is pushed to the max. They just don't have any more time. And his wife said, my goal for him was to get him out of the field. And so in order to do that, they had to start delegating and they had to start bringing people in to do those different types of work. If you're in a position where you've been doing all the operations, all of the financials, all of the sales, all the promotion and marketing and advertising for the entire company, and the company's starting to blossom, starting to grow, starting to see that scale happen, it's probably about time for you to start delegating. Now, rewinding back several years for myself, I was in that same position where I didn't know, should I delegate, should I not delegate? When I started one of my companies, the goal for that company was to actually never hire employees. And I thought I had a business plan put together that would make it so I didn't need to. But what I quickly discovered was my business plan had more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Even though my business plan had more holes in it than Swiss cheese and it wasn't going to be viable, I held on to that idea of not hiring anyone on, not bringing people in to delegate. And for years, it held me trapped. I was literally stuck. I couldn't scale up. I couldn't grow the business. And I was just constantly in this hamster wheel of trying to be successful and unable to be successful. Once I threw that idea out the window that I needed to do it all myself, and I started bringing in other people to help build up a team of people that could work together, and I started delegating the right way, it was incredible to see the company start to shift and transition. It lowered my stress, made the company more profitable. The employees that I brought on when I delegated right, they did great work. They still do great work, and they're there to own that responsibility, which means I can trust them to be a critical component of making this business work. It changes so much. Your customers actually will like doing business with you more because you're going to be putting in specialists that are good at doing just a few things, and the customer is going to get better results. Most likely it'll be a faster turnaround. And what was the most shocking to me is once I really started to delegate effectively, my cost of production actually decreased and I was able to charge less than I was in the past. So my quality went up, my speed went up, and my cost went down once I started delegating effectively. It's pretty incredible, and we're going to dive into some more of the nuts and bolts. So make sure you stay tuned and watch the other episodes, because by the time we're done with this mini-series on delegating, you're going to feel like you understand how, you're going to understand some of the pitfalls to avoid, you're going to know how to effectively bring the right people in and to make sure they're doing their jobs the right way. You're going to feel like an expert at delegating.